case you guys are wondering, I just did a first coat of gesso on here, so I'm just drying it. And I have a viewer. I'm not sure who's here, but anyway, I just started. I just put a another coat of gesso. In case you guys are wondering, I just did a first coat of gesso on here, so I'm just drying it. And I have, there we go. Okay, just getting rid of that. So you guys want to say where you're from, where you're watching from? This is almost dry. And as soon as it's dry, then we'll start. Not before I plug in my computer before it dies. So, because that would be bad. Literally watching paint dry at this point. Okay, we're almost done. Okay. So I'm working on, I believe this is a 16 by 20 canvas. It was double primed, but just to kind of make sure it was 100% good, I just went over it with another coat of gesso, and it's relatively dry. I do need to blend out the background quite a bit, so if it's not dry, it's just going to kind of aid in it a little bit. I wanted to show you my reference photo for today. So this is my reference photo. I found this off of just Google Images. I just Googled trees in snow, and that is kind of where I'm going to go with. So you can see we're going to create this really kind of gray background first, and then we're going to come in and we're going to do a really white line at the very bottom, and then we're going to start creating the trees. So easy. The biggest, of course, the detail on trees. So for the paints that I'm going to be using, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I like to mix my grays with some titanium white and carbon black, but I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to opt for some neutral gray 8, and this is the heavy body golden. And then this is the neutral 4. This will be kind of more towards the bottom. And then of course I'm going to mix that in with white just to kind of help blend it out. The other thing I'm going to use to kind of help aid in my blending is acrylic glaze. I find this really helps, especially if I want to get a great transition between the two colors without it looking too over streaky. And then, of course, the titanium white. I opt for the golden brand just because I prefer the golden brand. And then this is the carbon black black paint that we're going to be using. Carbon black is a little bit more of an opaque black versus the ivory black, which is going to be a little bit more translucent. So let's just get our palette ready. I just have some palette paper here. So I'm just going to put couple little dots of paint. I don't like to put too much on because if you put too much on, then it's just going to dry out. So you just kind of come in with a little less than what you think you're going to need. You can always add more. And then of course the titanium white. So I have the 2 grays and the titanium white on here. And I look like a hot mess, but it's Sunday and it's Sunday. So, all right. So I'm just going to start in with the gray, and then I'm just going to kind of create my line. Now, don't worry about it being streaky at this point because we are just going to really blend that all out. It's going to work to our advantage here. So just kind of keep blending. Drips a little bit, that's okay, because this is going to be all white down below. Kind of keep it 3/4 of the way. I want my trees to kind of be from here up. I'm going to go into the white gray here. And then just keep going. Oh, I didn't put any acrylic glaze on here, so let me do that because I feel like it's getting a little dry on me, so get get some acrylic glaze. Let's create a nice soft gray background. And that acrylic glaze is going to be a little translucent too, so if I need it to really transition, I can definitely get it to move without affecting the color too much. And I think my gesso wasn't completely dry right there. So just keep going. Any questions so far? If you have any questions, just put it in the group chat and I can glance over and take a look at it. And I'm just kind of going back and forth. I want the transition to be nice and soft and gradual. So rather than going like X's like that, I'm going to create some weird kind of transition. So if I just kind of go straight back and forth, it'll be a nice transition. Just keep moving the paint. Because I'm going wet into wet, I can really blend those colors out. And I need more white. Just keep really blending. If you want the colors to blend really seamlessly, you want to make sure you're doing wet into wet. And this little spot I don't like there, so I'm just going to cover that back up again, blend it back out. Then I just every now and again go into some of the acrylic glaze and just get it to move a little bit more. Eventually, when I get to the top, it'll be all the titanium white. Any questions so far? Everybody's doing all right? Say that everybody, and there's only one person in here. I don't want to make it feel like I'm talking to myself. You want to make sure you really push the paint into those grooves too. Just going back into a little bit of dark paint here. Just maybe a little bit more. There we go. I like that better. Okay, and then because I was already in the dark paint, I'm just going to go right to white. I'm going to start up at the top this time. Just push that paint around. And then you'll know when you're done. I'm not sure if I'm 100% done. I'm just going straight up and down now just to kind of get a little bit of fading this way. I hope the lighting is okay. Get a little bit darker up here and just blend it out. And that looks really nice. I am liking that. There's always time to touch up. So if you feel like it's not great, just take your time and give it a few touch-ups. Just make sure you do your edges. I always forget to do my edges, so don't forget to do them. It was a good time as any. Just take it all the way up the edge. And that's not what you want to do. A little bit more white. Get a little bit more white over here. Seeing how I got a little bit. And then I'm just going to take it out to the edge. Ooh, yeah, that looks good. That looks good. So I'm going to do the same. I'm not sure if you can see it on this side, but I'm just going to do the same thing on this side. And then I'm just going to take it all the way up the sides. And now, got a little bit of gray over here. So I'm just going to kind of blend it in. Oh yeah, that looks nice. I like that. Kind of a really dreary kind of winter day. Dreary, but not dreary. Now I just need to get rid of that edge over here. And that looks nice. That looks really nice. Say that, and then I keep touching it. Okay, so just to set it, if you like how it looks, set it. So I have a heat gun here, so I'm just gonna get really loud for a second. So don't worry about how this has like a weird line to it. We're gonna kind of blend, we're gonna go in straight white just across this bottom here, and that's gonna fix a lot of some of the stuff. There's like a little weird line here, but I'm gonna dry it real good, and then I'm gonna go and blend it again. So kind of like the thing with art is like you always kind of go and do that happy dance, go back and forth and back and forth. So you want to make sure it is how you like it. So yeah. And there's no one in here and I'm talking to myself. So I hope somebody pops in very soon. Okay, anybody have any questions? Nobody? Okay. Let's give it a quick dry. It's acrylic paint, so it really doesn't take that much time to dry at all. Okay, that's a little tacky up on the top, but we're just gonna leave it. I just wanna make sure that this part down here was the driest, so that was the main thing. So I'm going in with a wide brush. I think this is a number 2. Oh, this is a number 2. This is a number 10, just a flat wash brush. So just going into straight white, make sure your paintbrush is relatively clean because you want the white to be really white. And just come straight across. You'll have to probably go over it a couple times to make it really white. I want this to be a really defined line. It's okay if it's not straight, it's land. So after all, land isn't necessarily the straightest. Just using the tip of my brush and go straight along. And then I'll just keep going back and reinforcing that line. And the more you go over top of it, the whiter it's going to get. Why am I going over top of this bottom part with white when it's already pretty white? Well, I want it to be super white. So if I go over with the titanium white, I know I'm going to get that super white that I want to get. And that's the essence of what I'm looking for right now, is that super white. And I'm kind of getting a little bit of blending here, which is interesting and okay all at the same time. So I'll probably dry it in between a couple coats, so that way I can go back and make it whiter. So this is like the easiest part of the whole thing, is just going over with the white and doing the blending on the top. Basically, you stop when it feels good for you. Don't stop until it's good. If you want this bottom part or this top part to be quite a bit lighter, by all means, you could have, added quite a bit more white and just left it as that, but I kind of like the darker. And I think if you look at my photo or at my reference, it's quite a bit darker on the edges, so I might adjust for that later. So just gonna give this a good coat of white paint, and then I'm going to dry it, and then I'll probably go over it again. Some more white. Okay. Okay, now that I got that, I'm going to give it a quick dry. Okay, and then I'm just going to go over top again. And every time you go over top with the white paint, it is going to get whiter. You can use a Liquitex titanium white for this as well. Actually, let me pull the titanium white out just so you can see. It's just a thicker consistency. It's just a thicker consistency, but it is going to be the exact same. So, Liquitex Basics. And it's just a thicker consistency. You can see there on the palette. I'm just going in with the white. And that's blending quite a bit better for me, so I kind of like that. Same white tones, just a thicker consistency. Okay, and then I'm just gonna redefine this line here. Just using the edge of my brush and pushing it along. And then just blending it out. Don't forget your sides. I don't think I did the other side yet, so I will do that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Again, just redefining that line. Just because it was really gray and I was really blending. And it's getting quite a bit whiter now, you can see. Okay, just like that. Just give it a good blend out. If it's a little thick, just get some water. Blend it out with your, just get it a little thinner. And then you can just apply it a little bit easier. Not really taking much care when I get over into these big sections because I'm really just putting a nice flat white color down. Okay, there we go. Just fixing my land here. I didn't like how it was looking. I'm just gonna leave that there. It's gonna look like a little bit of a shadow on the hill or something. So I'm gonna leave that, call that good. I think that's good. Might adjust up in here a little bit, but we'll adjust that in 1 second. So give it a quick dry. Get your brush out real good. Here's my fancy water jar. If your paint feels cold, it is not dry. So I'm just kind of giving it a feel, and it's a little cold up in here, and you can see it's not dry. I want to blend this out a little bit more, so I'm going to go right into some neutral 8, or yeah, neutral 8, and some white. I'm going to use the Liquitex Basics just because I think that's working a little bit better for me. And I'm going to really soften this middle part out, and I might have to go back in and adjust my landscape, but at this point, that's quite all right. So just going to get a little bit of, if you can see, a little bit of gray right here, and then a little bit of white. It's just going to create this nice kind of softer gray. It's not a complete white, nice soft gray. And I just want to kind of come in here. I'm just gonna blend this out. Like I said, don't worry about if you touch your snow. You can always adjust for that. Okay, and then just really stretch that paint out. There, that's looking better. That is looking much better. I like that better. Trying to get close to the land without touching it. I do, not a big deal. Here we go. And then just blending it up. As I get kind of away from the landscape, I'm just going to start working up a little quicker. Do like that. Yeah, that looks better. Get my brush a little bit wet. And then that's going to help me blend that out a little bit more. There we go. Now this is all interpretation of how you see that drawing. So if you see something different than I do, then go with your gut. Go with what it feels like you should go with. Ooh, like that line right there. I like how there's this nice little kind of darker, just ever so slightly right at the crest of this hill or at the landscape. So I'm going to kind of fade it out just a little bit, not too much. Do like that though. Okay, and then I'm going to go into some more white. Actually, I'm going to get my paintbrush a little bit wet first. Go into some more white. And then carry it up. Yeah, that looks nicer. I just need a little bit of neutral gray. So it's kind of like I said, this little happy dance. You go back into the gray, come back out of the gray, go a little wider. There. It's this nice little happy dance. Doing the tango. Back and forth, back and forth. And then, yeah. See, that looks so much softer already. Nice and soft. That's what we want. Nice and soft. Just blending all that out. Like I said, when we get to the top, I want it to be pure white because we want it to balance the white off in the bottom. So you want it to see as gradual. So this is really white down here. So you want this to be really white up here. So that way you get that nice balance. Blend that white out just a little bit more with some more water. Yeah, that looks nice and soft now. And then like I said, a little bit of a happy dance, going back into some gray. Just fixing up some of this right here. Ooh, that looks nice. Okay. Nice. Very nice. So nice and soft. Go back to our reference photo. Again, it's not the exact. You can see in relation to, it's not exact, but it does have a nicer transition to it. There, is that a little better? There we go. So it has this really nicer, softer transition. So this is really nice and soft at this point. I'm pretty happy with that. So that being said, I'm just gonna get a new palette paper. And what I like to use for my trees is carbon black, just because it's already fluid. Like this is the fluid acrylic. It's already fluid. I don't want to really kind of like fuss too much with the consistency of the paint. So if I use the fluid acrylic, I get a little bit more control. So I'm just going to go right into, pour some fluid of this carbon black fluid acrylic out. Get the crusties off of it. Okay. I'm using a liner brush. This is a #1 liner brush. Very important when you're doing very good detail on trees. Now there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trees. So it looks like the biggest one, kind of like right in here. I'm just going to kind of make a little like that. Then it looks like there's another one kind of back here. Something like that, and then another one kind of more forward right there. Here, let's make a line so you can see. So there's one like right here. There's another one kind of right, more like right here. And there's another one kind of farther in right there. Then one here. And then one more like right here. And then one's kind of like more like right here. So that's just going to kind of give us a spot to kind of show where all the trees are going to be. So, where do you start? I am going to start any particular place. The other thing I was going to tell you is if you want your, when you want to do your trees and you want the lines to be really thick on the trunk of the tree, and then as you get towards the top, they'll get really thin. If you want the paintbrush to do the work. So as you get towards the top, lift up. The lighter you lift, the thinner the lines. So let's just start on this tree right here. And then just I kind of let the trees come on their own. They tell me what they want to be. I'm not worried about the base of the tree so much right now. I'll get to that. Just gonna start making the details. And when I mean details, the main trunk of the trees, kind of like the bigger branches. And then we fill in the rest. So make your tree trunks kind of taper from the bottom up. You don't want them to be super skinny in the middle and then thick towards the top. You want them to be relatively sort of like the same. You want them to taper ever so slightly. How about that? Ever so slightly. And if you want to put a little knots in the trees and stuff like that, feel free to do that. I'm doing this with the liner brush when really I could be doing the trunk of the tree with a wider brush, but that's okay. I'm flaring out some of this, not making it perfect because you want it to look like the snow is kind of like around the base of the tree. So you don't want it to look perfect. You want to kind of make it look like it's creeping up the tree. feel like I should have some Christmas music playing or something. That would be cool. Just keep going, fill it in. These are really quality canvases, so I can see all the grooves in them. So yeah, they're a little harder to paint on. If you're just starting out, our dollar store, the Dollar Tree, has amazing cheap canvases, especially if you're just getting into it and you want to try it out. I don't recommend you spend a lot of money on canvases if you're not sure if you want to do it. Start out inexpensive. You can always get more expensive as you come along. And you can see that tree is taking shape. I'm just concentrating on the trunk of the tree right now. And then I will worry about the branches and stuff after. Okay. So, it's kind of one tree done, just the trunk of it. And then just kind of do the other one. A little bit of water. I feel like I'm fighting with the paint a little bit. Let's try that. There we go. Now I'm not fighting so much. Just take it all the way up first. Just adding some more. Now all I'm using is the carbon black because you want it to look like a silhouette. So if you do black, it has that really nice pop of color. Even though black's not a color, it just really makes the trees pop. And again, don't make your bottoms of your tree trunks perfect because they're going to be covered with snow. So something like that. Okay. Just keep going. You'll probably have to keep using quite a bit of black. I'm not sure if I'll get this painting finished today, but I can at least put the video up and you guys can see the progress. I said progress, not progress. I'm Canadian. Okay. And see how this is wider here, this is not wider there? That's like giving my eye something like to really think about. So I'm just gonna go in and make this wider. And I still have to make that a little bit wider, so I'm gonna come on this side. And that looks a little bit better. Yeah, that makes me happier. And I think I'm gonna have to go wider with this one because perpetual balance, especially if this one's farther back, this one's got to be a little bit bigger. See how it goes? You got to go kind of like in this whole little balance thing. So I'm gonna make this one wider. Okay. So again, just take your liner brush. They'll do the job. I'll make the trees for you. Need some more carbon black. Okay, and I'm just making the tree trunk on this first one quite a bit wider because it's closer. And I like this one, and I want it to kind of be similar. Similar but closer. Give it a nice little funky tree trunk down here. There we go. Liking that. I'll worry about this part being tapered up there for a moment. I like this one. I like this one. So once I got these two done, this one is the closest one. So this one I know I have to make quite a bit wider. And this one's pretty close to this one. So I got to make this one relatively close to that one. Not to say that there isn't rules to be broken, because, you know, there is one tree here that's quite a bit smaller. But then when you make it smaller, you need to make sure that you only have the branches come up so far. So it's kind of like all the things that you have to think about when you're doing a painting is placement and kind of like how you want it to be. There. So just follow it up with the liner brush. I'm going to go in with some more water because, like I said, it's just helping me move that paint just a little bit more. Does anybody have any questions? You have one viewer here, so I'm just going to keep working because, like I said, I can always put this on YouTube after and people can watch it at their leisure. Ooh, that one looks a little twisted. Let's fix that. Ooh, like that. Perfect. So again, I'm just putting the trunks of the tree in, and then we'll fill in with detail after. I kind of started up here just to see how it was going to look, and I really like it so far. I really like that soft gray. So, and then let's do this one a little bit narrower. Let's make this one a smaller one. So let's only make them stop maybe right there. I know I have that little bit there, but that is okay. We will just make a branch or something out of it. This painting is going to be for my mom for Christmas, so shh, don't tell her. Don't say anything. Oh, shoot. Got a little spot of paint right there. So I'm just going to take a baby wipe. If it doesn't get it all off, I'll just go back in with some white paint, but it did. Okay. That's what I like about acrylic paint. It's so user-friendly. Okay. Looks a little weird right in there. That looks a little better. Okay, just like that. Oh, and I like that little thing coming out of there. Okay. And this one, no, we'll take them up like that. Just like that, and then we'll just fill it in. Again, I'm not really filling in the bottom of the tree trunks. You want it to look like the snow is kind of like building up around the trunks of the tree. So I don't want it to be overly perfect. Okay, and I'm just gonna fix up some of like the weird angles that I have right here. All right, that's quite a wide tree. Oh, the tree dictates what it wants to be. So you just go with it. Just filling in the shape of the trees. Again, this is all carbon black, so it's all silhouetted. It doesn't really matter about lighting or shade, which is the perfect trees to paint. You don't have to fuss with the lighting. If you wanted to on this, you totally could add some snow to the branches. I don't think I'm going to do that. So now this one is the closest. So I'm going to have to go quite a bit wider because like I went really wide on these two. So I'm going to have to kind of come in maybe down a little bit farther. Maybe down here. Yeah, down there. And I'm going to have to come really wide. Now his branches are going to probably go all the way to the top. Actually, they probably all will. Maybe do a little bit of curvy curve at the bottom. Okay, it's just something like that. And then I'm going to quite a bit of a big area. So let me find a bigger brush. One that can fill in that shape quite a bit. So this is just a whatever brush that is. I'm going to say probably a number 2 flat. And just fill in that, all that black. Quite a bit more. Just fill in that shape. Oh yeah, I am digging it. Freaking love it already. It's not even done. Just like that. You can see, oh, look at the impact that big tree has, just like that. I freaking love it. I love that tree. Should have made that split off, but that's okay. I didn't want to happen that way. So just making a nice little angle right here. Making my edges sharp and crisp. Oh, I love that tree. If I go like this, I can angle it here. I can angle it right there. Yeah, just like that. Yeah. That says nice. Just gonna touch up some of these right here too, since I have the bigger brush out. Does anybody have any questions? I only have one person watching. Do you have a question, one viewer? Very nice. Digging it makes me happy. Very nice. I'm off in my own little world, so if anybody needs anything, yell at me. See how I said the tree takes form? There's like this little weird spot right here. And I just saw the tree limb kind of come around the backside of the tree. Yeah. Okay. I have to move back to the liner brush. So now we're going to come in with more of the details. Yeah, that looks nice. Then I'm going to kind of come off here. Have a little branch that way. And then there's a little branch that's coming this way. Let's make him. Okay. And then, I don't know, let's split this one up here. Yeah. So what you want to do is when you're making your trees, you want to kind of make your main limbs, your main trunk of your tree. Let me restart. You want your main trunk of your tree, then your main branch stem offs. And then as you do your main branch stem offs, you're going to stem off from them. So the more you stem off, the thinner you want to get. And I'm totally getting paint down here. Flicking it, obviously. And that I can fix with some white paint over top. Because like I said, this is all just straight white paint, so it's not a big deal. Frustrating, but not a big deal. Okay. I'm just going to carry this branch over to the side. So that way if somebody's walking by, it doesn't look like it's unfinished. And I'm going to come up here. And then you can see like there's another little stem off from there. And then as if I come over here, and you just kind of want to keep flaring out. And as you flare out, you want to get smaller. And usually when you start like a branch, you want to kind of come back towards the main part of the tree. And then just follow it, because otherwise if you kind of start towards kind of like in the middle here, you'll see like a knot, which, you know, that might work for you. Might not. So you can see as I come out, it gets quite a bit thinner. Now, I'm sorry, it's like a really bad position right there, and I have no other way to move my camera around, so sorry. Then let's do another one, kind of like right there. Another little stem off, like there. Yeah, just like that. You don't want your lines to be perfect. If you have a shaky hand, it's perfect for trees. Just like that. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love it. Yeah. Very cool. Some more water here because my brush is getting a little dry. You'll know if your brush is getting a little dry, I'll have a harder time moving the paint. Just keep that in mind. Make sure you go over, in front of, and kind of like in front of and behind the trees. You want to create this transition between the two, because trees, like the branches will cross over because you'll have trees that are in front, trees that are behind. So you don't want to feel like they're kind of like off on their own. That makes sense. If you take a look at the tree, see how the branches are all intertwined? You want to make sure you're doing that. You want to make sure all the branches are kind of intertwining. You don't want any, like this is this tree, this is this tree, this is this tree. Unless, however, they are super far apart. And then that's how they should be. And I'm just gonna make this other little patch just like that. Just like that. Then let's do another one over here. Again, I'm just carrying it over to the back side of the painting. Don't want it to stop abruptly. It looks weird. I'm just doing the same thing over on the side. I'm just adding limbs, little sticks. I want it to look like it's perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect tree in the wild. Wild nature? Maybe nature. Let's do nature. But I am loving my trees. I like to start at the bottom, or at the top, I should say, versus the bottom. It's a preference thing. I find that if I start at the top, I know where I need to start kind of putting the branches in and where I need to start filling in from the bottom up. Versus if I work at the bottom up, I might have a harder time filling in the branches towards the top. Like I'll have like lots of clusters down here versus if I work at the top, I know the top is always usually more clustered anyway. So if I have any of these weird offset spots where it needs to be filled, I can kind of start pulling up from the bottom and filling in that spot that needs to be filled. Just kind of wrapping around the corner. Just like that, and then I kind of, when I'm doing these ones, I kind of pretend like that branch isn't there. And then I kind of just pull off, pretend it's not even there, and then just kind of pull it, because then you'll see like how it wants to take shape. Just like that. Maybe like that. So you can see that top of that tree is just amazing right now. Loving it. There we go. Again, just making a wider branch, pulling it from the trunk of the tree out. So it's going to be nice and wide. And then I'm just going to start making some smaller ones. And just keep pulling. Eventually, you'll have a really cool branch. And I'm just using a really nice light hand to create like these little branches. I want, like, again, I want it really clustered up towards the top and not so clustered up towards the bottom. So just like that. Okay, and then I already kind of have the top going. I have that one branch, so I'm going to kind of lead over this way. I hope my hand isn't too much in the way here. Just like that, keep leading it out. Tree will tell you where it wants to go. I know it sounds kind of funny, it really does. Tree just kind of helps you decide on where the transitions need to be. If you have a shaky hand, this is an awesome art form to do. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So if you have a shaky hand, it just kind of helps the tree branches take shape. Just like that. You can see it's starting to kind of take a bit more shape. And if you need to adjust, like this one looks a little too thin for right there. Just gonna adjust a little bit. And just kind of come up and pull this one up. And just keep pulling. And that looks freaking amazing. I was gonna do this on Periscope, but I couldn't get the canvas. I couldn't do it this way. So that is why I'm doing it on Google Hangouts. So just keep working it. Okay, so I did like the top of this. I'm gonna concentrate on working on the bottoms. Usually the bottoms are a little bit not quite so high up. They kind of like lean straight out. So when you're doing a bottom, I want to like come like that. I'm gonna make this a little wider. Just like that. It's not typically, usually the branches go up. Not to say that they don't go down, but typically they go up. So when they come onto the bottom side of it, they're usually a little flatter. or they really droop down, like that one. Like that one really droop down. Of course, the thinner I get to the end, or the more towards the end I get, the thinner the little branches are going to get. So you're going to hardly see them at all. So keep going. Just like that. Oof, that looks amazing. Just keep filling it in. Again, that tree trunk right there, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to fill that in after. It's going to take some time. Just be patient. It will all start to come together all of a sudden. Okay, just like that. So, I have a question for the one viewer. Where are you from? I want to see it in the chat box. You've been coming, kind of popping in and out. Where are you from? Just curious. And thank you so much for watching and listening to me blab. Yeah, that looks nice. Oh, this one's a shy one. This viewer doesn't want to tell me where they're from. That is so funny. Again, just adding another little branch off, and you can see like this part is starting to look really amazing. So what happens is I usually start to see this part of the tree take place, and then I'll start concentrating kind of more towards on the other side. I want to kind of create a really nice balance between the two. So going, pulling. Still nothing from the one viewer. Wow. And if you go on the Google Hangouts, there's somewhere over here, over there, there's like a little chat thingy that you can press. I think, I don't know, this is my first Google Hangout, so I'm not really sure. I think apparently that you can do that. Oh, ding. Ding. 2 viewers. Whoop whoop. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming in. I'm still kind of like just doing some lines on here. Just filling in this tree. Working with some carbon black paint. And just using a number 1 liner brush. And just kind of making some little branches and just filling in so far this one tree. And this is the part that takes the longest to do. We already did our kind of grayscale. Me and the one viewer who's back only with the one viewer. We did the grayscale. Ooh, I like that. And then I'm just kind of taking it again around the edge. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Very, 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 very nice. Like I said, you don't have to have a steady hand to do trees because you can kind of make that work for you if you don't have a steady hand. Oh yeah, I like that one. Yeah. Can make some kind of like really twisty limbs. And like I said, I kind of like to come around the front and the back of the tree because you want to make it feel like it's not a flat tree. We add some detail in front of the tree, behind the tree, and it kind of gives that tree a little depth. Doesn't make it look like a cartoon tree. These totally could look like a cartoon tree. Very quickly. And very much to be very creative. Tree like state lately. Yeah, see, look how that's shaping up. Here, let me pull it up a little closer so you can see. I'm sure I don't get it into my black paint. See how that's looking? That's looking amazing, right? I am so loving it. Oh, my mom might not get this for Christmas. That is the problem with me in painting. I have a really hard time giving these paintings up. They really make me happy. So again, just making sure that I am getting the sides. It's all in the details, right? So if you're doing the details, might as well do the details well. Oops, that one got a little heavy. Okay, go with it then. my paintbrush got a little bit oversaturated with paint at the bottom. So rather than considering it a mistake, just go with it. Oh, right over here. Hello. Okay. Just like that. Okay. So this one tree is going to take a long time to do. So I think what I'm probably going to do is call it quits after I finish this one tree. And then if I get a chance tomorrow, I will rebroadcast or do another broadcast, however you want to say it, of me doing the other tree. Maybe two. Because this takes a long time. Like it takes a lot of detail work. But it's in the details. That's what makes the painting amazing. And that is freaking awesome. I'm loving this tree. I am really loving my trees. Now, certainly, if you wanted to add leaves to this, you could really kind of speed up the process. However, like mine's winter. Not to say that there isn't winter leaves, not winter leaves, but dead leaves on winter trees. But all you would do is just take a paintbrush and kind of like splot on where you want your leaves to go. I kind of really like the detail of the bare trees. This kind of makes me, I don't know. I live in Canada, so it's kind of depressing, but beautiful at the same time. Just fixing as I go, I kind of like see where I need to fix mistakes, so I'll like kind of adjust as I go along. Oh, and see, this was a big trunk, a tree base that I had started. I didn't do anything with. So now I gotta do something with it. So let's kind of come up here. Oh, I need more paint. Just kind of fix that one branch. Start again, wider at the base. Kind of come up towards the top. Thin out my brush. I'll paint just a little bit. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is. There it is, all the way. So just let the tree form. And see now, all of a sudden, that kind of integrated that weird branch that we didn't have anything to do with, which I totally forgot. Now I'm just making that tree branch come to life. That's what I love about painting. can take something that had nothing, was nothing. It was just a plain canvas, or it was just a plain background. And now it's looking like these amazing trees. Oh, look at that. That is so exciting. I know, I'm a geek. It's okay. It's okay to be a geek. There is nothing wrong with it. Oh, wow. I freaking love this tree. I am loving it. Water. Okay. So I got that. This tree branch doesn't have anything on it. I'm gonna make it. If your paintbrush feels like it's working really hard, probably need to wet it. Look at that tree. Oh, I love it. I know, I keep saying that, but really, I do. Okay. Nobody has any questions. Everybody's busy just watching me. I see everybody. I say the one viewer. That's such a pretty tree. I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's all done. I just can't wait. Look at that tree. It looks so amazing. It's okay to stop every now and again just to kind of see how it's all looking. And if you see me tilt my head side to side, it's because I'm trying to take a look at the angles. If there's anything I need to adjust on. It's like the painter head. Just from side to side. You ever see like people who are like painting and they're looking? Yeah, that's what we're doing. Checking the angles. And then when I paint this tree, I'll ignore all these branches here and just kind of concentrate on the branches that I need to for that particular tree. Okay, and just again, let the tree take shape. Keep adding like the little kind of like branches towards the end. Again, as you get towards the end of the branch, the thinner you're gonna get. And if you make them kind of like twisty, nothing wrong with that. Oops, that one didn't turn out the way I wanted to. So go back to the beginning. There we go. And then just fix this one up. There we go. That looks better. Here, that's better. There's no, I don't think there's really any wrong way to paint a tree like this. I don't think so. Basically, they're like giant fingers. Think of them as giant fingers coming out. Make sure they overlap as you would see them in nature. Will definitely overlap. Just like that. Okay. So just keep going, following the branches along. Hope you guys can see this because I can't adjust my camera all that well. Should be working on these trees over there, but I wanted to start over on this side first. Ooh, I like that one. It turned out pretty cool. And then just add another little branch up in here. Yeah, that looks good. Wish somebody would turn some music on. I should have turned some music on before I started. Now I don't know if I can. Totally crank on some Christmas carols. So if you're watching, turn on some Christmas carols and pretend like I am listening with you. Very nice. I love this freaking tree. How am I supposed to give this to my mom? Ah, I like it. Okay. So see how I had like that one branch where I did nothing with, and now it feels like almost complete. There's this one spot right here. I just saw it. There, that looks a little better. So yeah, so that was a way to finish off so you can kind of see like how we started to feather everything out. So let your kind of trees dictate where they want to go. So the only other thing I can see is maybe like something else coming off there. But see, like now that I've done all that, this is feeling really sparse over here. So kind of like to do the happy dance, I try to like to go back and forth. And then if you take a look at the reference photo, we kind of like go, I don't know, it's almost about half to 2/3 of the tree. So you want your branches to stop roughly-ish around this point. So roughly around there, I would say. So that's almost half of the tree. Even down there would be okay. But you don't want it to come down too far. You can, I don't know if you can see, like there's like knots in the tree and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you add that. So let me just check to see. Anybody have any questions? I don't think anybody is, well, there's only still the one viewer. So does anybody have any questions? So anyway, yeah, it's 9:16. I think I'm gonna like chill out here, knock it out, and then I am going to um hopefully finish this off tomorrow. Not finish it, but continue working on it because like this is gonna take a long time. Thank goodness I have until Christmas to get it done. So anyway, I wanted to thank you guys for whoever started watching this. If you have any questions, I'm going to publish this to YouTube. So if you have any questions, just leave them below and I will be sure to answer them as best as I can. And yeah, I have to stop because my hand's getting cramp and it's a lot of detail work. So yeah, I'm just going to draw my brush, chill out. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.